Hello, everybody, and welcome to the seventh episode of our Buffalo Bills podcast. Today, we are going to be discussing the Bills' upcoming game against the Philadelphia Eagles, in addition to the Jets' loss to the Dolphins. Now, I'd like to welcome my friend Adrian.
What's up, everyone?
Okay, Adrian, what do you think about the outcome of the Jets-Dolphins game?
Okay, as we know, the Jets they got blown out, torched by the Miami Dolphins. Terrible, just terrible game all around. It was a rough watch, and in my opinion on it, like obviously the Jets look like shit, like they always do. But I mean, like the Jets aren't my problem. I really was rooting for the Jets. Like I hate that. I hate how Jacob, hold on. Jacob. Stop laughing.
I'm laughing, bro.
Then
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I hate how the Jets are incompetent offensively and can't help us out. I've, they call him Tua turned the ball over or whatever. Why
Exactly.
wasn't that happening? Oh, most overrated defense I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. Um, so yeah, obviously the Jets like completely even on defense, yeah, they as you said, just were terrible. Like they didn't really make any stops. They just let the Dolphins walk down the field. Overall, just an embarrassment. But from the Bills' perspective, I think that this game, it could have helped us more, but because obviously a Dolphins loss would have helped us in the division race. We could have like won the division. Like, I mean, or it would help us in maybe getting the division. But the Jets losing isn't too bad because now that completely makes them irrelevant. They are
Yeah, their
not making the
season's over.
playoffs. Their
Yeah.
season's over. We don't have to worry about them taking one of the wild card slots. And yeah, overall, just not a great game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, they said at the before the season, in the preseason, like one of their players said they want to be like the 84 Bears or something, and they can't even stop the Dolphins.
Yeah,
So.
I know.
Yeah, looking at the playoffs right now, we're two games behind Miami, and we do play them I think one more time, so that's good.
Yeah.
Um, the right now we're in the eighth seed, but we're only the eighth seed by half a game, and the teams in front of us are Houston and Pittsburgh, both of which I don't think they're good enough.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett, Houston
The
with CJ
legend.
Stroud, yeah. But yeah, I think a playoff spot actually is looking. I feel like we will make the playoffs at this point. I actually like this team going forward. No more Ken Dorsey terrorist ball. Uh, yeah. Now looking for this upcoming game against the Eagles, what do you think the key is? What do you think the Bills have to do to win?
Um, so against the Eagles, as we know, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. It's gonna be honestly, it's gonna be rough. I'm not sure that we're gonna be able to come out with a win, which I mean, if I don't really want to say it's a must win. It's not a must win, but like we want to win this game, and in order to do that, I feel like I say it every week, but Josh needs to go off. He needs to have a like a baller game. He needs to show up, show out. He needs to dominate. He needs to be clutch, like he was against the Jets. Like he had a great performance against the Jets. I'll give him that. And he's going to need to keep doing that. Like sadly, we've put ourselves in a position where every game from now on, Josh needs to like just be that guy. And overall, I think that Joe Brady calling a great game against the Jets. I think overall his just his the game plans, the way he runs this offense is going to help us out a lot. I think yeah, offense is my real concern. Like the defense, I feel like will be. I mean, of course, it's hard to stop the Eagles, but I think it's mainly the offense putting up points. What do you think?
Yeah, so two things. Number one, maybe this is unfair a little bit, but I do think this is a must win because if we lose, we're back at 6-6 and 500 ball. I think they really have to put like a couple wins together in a row. And after this week, I believe we have the bye too. So you want to go into the bye with good momentum. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the key to winning, in my opinion, I think, is stopping the run because I think the run is the key to the Eagles' offense. If our defense could stop the run, um, with DeAndre Swift and Jalen Hurts from running, if we could stop them, I think we'll win the game. Um, Allen needs to have a good game too, but with Joe Brady, I think they're gonna figure out a way to put up at least like 21 points, three touchdowns. Okay, what do you
Yeah.
think? Who's a key like receiver in this game
Um, so like what for Buffalo or for Philly?
for Buffalo?
So I want to say Diggs as always, but I can't just always say Diggs. But I'll go with Khalil Shakir. I'll say Khalil Shakir because I think I'm really starting to see him emerge into like the true number two that we need. Like I think that he's been better than Gabe Davis thus far. I in recent weeks at least. I think he's more a little more dynamic than Gabe Davis. I think he gives just a little bit more in general, and I think that overall, if Shakir is able to like put up a great game like he did against the Jets and like make some big plays, um, I think that that's going to be the most important thing for us.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I think honestly, I think Diggs has to have like an above 100-yard receiving game for us to win. That's
Yeah.
because they have a good defense. I think key to this really Diggs has to like go off and hopefully we can get Kincaid in the game again. Hopefully I think he'll have a good game. I do. Okay. Um who's a key defensive player for the Bills in this game?
Okay, so I want to say like key player who I think is gonna have a great game. It's gonna be it's gonna be Rasul Douglas. I'm gonna say because he's our trade, the person that we traded for, and he had a fantastic game against the Jets. He was like, I mean, he showed why we traded for him, and I think that if he's able to like shut down the dynamic receivers and just overall offense that is on the Eagles, I think that that's going to be a big part of our defensive performance. It is the performance of Rasul Douglas because we're short manned on defense. We don't have a lot of guys that are healthy. So Rasul is one of those guys, and I feel like he's gonna have to step up big time this game.
Yeah, for me, so I'm not looking at a specific player here. I'm looking at the defensive line as a unit because they need
Yeah.
to put as much pressure as they can on Jalen Hurts because if we could pressure him, obviously that makes it much harder for him to get to his receivers. And I think if we, I'm looking for the Bills to hopefully sack him like two times. If we could sack him two times, at least, I think that's a good sign for our D line. And that means that we're doing a good job stopping him. Okay, now how do you think we could stop AJ Brown, who's been their best wide receiver this year?
So normally, like in seasons past, in this situation, we just put Trey White on AJ Brown, like a receiver like AJ Brown, who's I mean, let's face it, AJ Brown is, in my opinion, top three receiver in the NFL. He's really good. We had a number one corner. We used to before he got injured in Trey White, and now that's just not available to us anymore. So I think double teaming him like is an option, but I don't. I honestly don't think that's right. I think he's an outside guy, AJ Brown. So Christian Benford, maybe if we can put him out there, he's like honestly, it's gonna be tough because they also have Devonta Smith. Like I think I'm no defensive mastermind. It's up to the supposed defensive mastermind, the person who's calling the plays, McDermott, to dial up something. But I think that he, it's going to be tough. I think we don't have enough good corners to really deal with that. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe Benford can do something.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, again, I think it's all about pressuring Hurts because if we could pressure him, our D line could pressure him. I don't think he's gonna be able to make great throws. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully somebody on the outside could stop Brown. Okay. Now looking at when you look at the Jets last week, obviously the Bills put up 32 points and the defense was good. But then you look at what the Dolphins did today, who can't beat good teams. They also put up 20 I think 29 points and they only allowed like 13 or something. Well, I'll check that. Yeah, they put up 34 points and allowed 13. How much of a how much momentum would be lost if the Bills lost to the Eagles going into the bye
Um,
week?
yeah, so with the Jets game, I think that like as you said, momentum is a big thing. I think that that game, I think it was like yeah, like good for our momentum. Like I think that with that win, we were able to really like set our season straight. We dominant victory. Um and yeah, sadly we're after that momentum we have to build off of it with a super tough matchup. And honestly, yeah, I do think steam will be lost a little bit if we like look, let's say we go out there in Philly. It's away, I'm assuming, right? Um I don't think we're playing
Yeah,
at
it is in
home.
Philly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So like if we go to Philly and like we drop a stinker, we like get blown out, I think that yeah, momentum is for sure like just dead. 6-6, like we're gonna be depressed and we're not gonna be able to make up for it the next week. It's gonna be bad. But if we like obviously we want the win, but if we go in there and like put up a good like let's say we lose like 31-28 and like it's like some crazy like good performance, like we show that we can hang with the big ones. um it'll still be a blow, but think that it'll be less painful. It'll because I mean because then we're still 6-6, so we kind of have to win this game. But yeah, as you said, for sure momentum will for sure be stalled if we don't have a good performance.
Yeah. Okay. How do you think now the Philadelphia Eagles have a good all offensive defensive line rather, and an offensive line too. They have a good offensive line. But specifically defensive, looking at the defensive line, how do you think Allen, what could Allen do to avoid um getting hurt by all the pressure the defensive line would put on him? You think it would be better to run the ball or
um So I'm not familiar with how good their run defense is. I'm assuming it's like top five.
it's pretty good, yeah.
I'm assuming like yeah, and yeah, their D line is just filled with like Pro Bowlers and all pros, and they're I mean they're a stacked unit overall. I think that yeah, it's gonna be tough because running the ball won't really negate the like the quality of their of just their D line in general. Because James Cook, I mean, like yeah, we all know James Cook is not really a guy that can deal with like big bodies in the D line. He's more of an outside of the numbers guy, which we still don't seem to want to use him that way. But I think we're gonna have to throw the ball in general, not only like because that's gonna work against like the matchup with the D line, but also because we're gonna have to throw the ball in order to score more to keep up with Philly's offense. And you score like fast and going down the field by throwing the ball. And I think that it's gonna be tough because as you said, it's gonna be a lot of pressure coming from the Eagles. But Allen, he's a dynamic runner. He can get outside the pocket. He can throw on the run. He can run himself. I think that overall, combined with the dynamics of the Joe Brady offense, I think that we'll be able to overcome it somehow. Somehow,
Yeah, for me, really, I think Allen has to use Jalen Hurts' own game against him. And what I mean by that is he
yeah.
has to figure out when to run the ball. As let's if he sees lanes to run the ball, even if he's not able to get the first down, I think it would be good if he could run the ball to to get even like 6 yards or so, and then figure out a way to get the first down from there. Yeah, I'm also looking at James Cook. I mean, you know, I don't think he's gonna have a good game, but maybe we could put him in a wide receiver type of role, just the threat of him running or something. Okay, yeah. Now, looking at our other competition this upcoming week, really the Steelers and the Texans are the teams we have to keep an eye on. The Texans will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars with my guy Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne. So I would think that if we could win this game, we'd move back into the playoff picture officially. And because I would think that the Texans would lose. And the Steelers are playing the Bengals, Kenny Pickett, Jalen Warren, George Pickens versus the Joe Burrowless Bengals. But they'll still find a way to win. The Bengals will because of Kenny Pickett and his turnovers. Okay.
Yeah.
No, by the way, the Bills are actually favored in this game according to ESPN analytics.
Okay.
But according to the spread, I think they're -3, the Eagles are. So I don't know what that's all about. The line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, as they should be.
Yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
the home field advantage.
Yeah.
All right, what I'll say in this game though, what do you think the final score is gonna be? Who wins?
Um. Okay. So sadly, like the Bills have put themselves in a position where they need to win this game. Like, I know it's all, we've been talking a lot about how like this team, like they need like everyone needs to have a good game, like pretty much. And sadly, I mean, we didn't take advantage of the easy part of our schedule, but I think that with this being like a must-win game, like I don't care how good of a team it is, it's a must-win game. Um, and being that I don't know, the Eagles, I feel like their coach is starting to talk a little bit like of crap, and
Yeah, the
yeah,
punchable face, Nick Sirianni,
yeah, I
the
know,
punchable
yeah,
face,
yeah, obviously, and no, like
fat.
I feel, yeah, and I honestly feel like this like it's gonna be a karma game for him. I don't know why. I feel like we're gonna pull out a win. Like I don't know why. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 31-28 Buffalo.
Hey, I got it. I think I'm gonna go 42. Buffalo scores 42 points. I
Okay,
think their defense is joking. The
they're so good.
Eagles.
Yeah,
But
their defense is
I think we're gonna allow 35 points. So 41 or what did I say? 41 to 35, I think. That's what I'm gonna go with. I do think the Bills will win. I think the Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl.
obviously,
Yeah,
obviously Buffalo all the way. Buffalo all the way this time.
Joe Brady, play calling saves lives. Ken Dorsey play calling causes
Ends
ends lives. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you to everybody for listening to the seventh edition of our Buffalo Bills podcast. Go Bills and uh F you Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.